Hello, everybody. This is Zemanon, coach of the New Haven Charizards, and we are bringing you our Week 7 matchup in the LDL Majors division. We're facing off against Zoronis and the Utah Valley Talonflame. Last time we played Zoronis was in the LDL off season, and it was the final week of the regular season. I think I won like 1-0. I think it was either 1-0 or 2-0. I couldn't remember, but it was a close matchup. It ended up not mattering since we'd both qualified for the playoffs already, but at the time we didn't know that it didn't matter. So it still was an important matchup that we had. But this time around, we are currently 3-3, and we're actually caught up in real time. So thank you for sticking with me as I mass recorded through all these episodes to get to you. But we are currently 3-3 right now. And Zoronis has a team of Clefable, Tapu Bulu, Gothitelle, Skarmory, Dugtrio, Toxapex, Chansey, Rotom Heat, Mega Sableye, and Alolan Golem. So this is a pretty tanky. This is a defensive team. Like this is going to be hard to break through for me. As you can see, I'm happy he didn't bring Tapu Bulu because I was worried about that. If he was being choice scarfed or something like that, or maybe choice banned, like whatever. But like Gothitelle and Dugtrio on the same team with two ways of trapping me in, plus Toxapex stall, Chansey stall, Sableye stall, Clefable, who just like oh my god, this team, Skarmory is super tanky. Like this is gonna be, I need to break through. And when I was originally building against this squad, I was like, I gotta, I'll have some Toxic and be able to bring Fortress to get some spikes down so I can do, try to whittle down his team. But then I thought, you know what? That's not my play style. I'm not gonna try to I'm not gonna match his defensive game. I'm gonna go balls to the wall and try to break through his defensive options because then he doesn't have answers for it. So I know a couple things on my team, depending on the six that he brought, like if I can just set up with them or I get them in an advantageous spot, like I just win. Like if I can get Mimikyu in with a Swords Dance and like just wreck with it, I think like I went offensive. I'll run through the team very quickly because we got to get started in this battle because it's grab popcorn. It's a long one. So I'm Fight Z on Tornadus, and that's for the Chansey in case I wanted to do 25% to the Chansey with Taunt, U-Turn, Hurricane, Focus Blast. And then Mega Venusaur is Toxic, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and Leech Seed. That's the Toxic just to try to annoy or to lower things because he can't minimize on me. Mimikyu is also holding a Z move. He's holding Mimikyu Z with Swords Dance, Substitute, Play Rough, and Shadow Claw. I didn't need Shadow Sneak because his team is so slow. Nothing is really faster than it. And if I get behind my sub and I can just keep Swords Dancing until the sub and Disguise is broken, like if I can get to +4 or something like that, it is GG. So that's my game plan with the Mimikyu. I am double Z move, which probably wasn't a good idea, but I want, in case Mimikyu went down and I had nothing really to deal with the Chansey, I wanted the Fight Z on Tornadus. Galvantula was Life Orb this week. Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, Volt Switch, and Thunder. I had enough. I actually put some bulk into Galvantula to live a Choice Scarfed Wood Hammer in Grassy Terrain from Bulu, and then I hit it back with the Bug Buzz for neutral stab damage. And then the last mon is Arcanine with Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Close Combat, and Iron Head. 4 attacks. I didn't go Assault Vest, I was thinking it, but I actually went Figgy Berry because I assumed with Flare Blitz and with Wild Charge, I was going to be bringing myself down. If he's going for like Seismic Tosses or things like that, or he Toxics me, at some point I'm going to get below 25% on the Arcanine. So I really want that Pinch Berry to get me back up, and it's going to prove crucial here. So I apologize for how long this match is going to be. At a certain point, I'm going to skip through like 20 turns because literally nothing happens at it. And, I'll tell you when we get there what we're going to do, and I'll explain to you what happened there. So this is 62 turns. This is objectively the longest match I've ever had in the LDL. I think I might have had some in some other draft leagues I was in online that went more than 62. I might have had maybe 1 or 2 in total in my whole career here, but like this is long. And I led with the Galvantula with Expert Belt. I guess I should have. I had Expert Belt, not Life Orb, even though I saved it as Life Orb. I never changed this item, I guess. But it actually doesn't really matter that much. This Thunder does not do anything. You know, with Life Orb it would have done more, but still is doing nothing to Chansey. So I decide to Volt Switch out into the Tornadus, I believe. Yes, so I'm into Tornadus, and I have Taunt on my Tornadus this week to deal with the Chansey. You can't just, can't just sit there doing whatever he wants. So I decide I'm just gonna go for Taunt. I don't have Defog, which hinders me. I probably should have ran Defog over Hurricane. I had Hurricane for the Bulu, but now that he didn't bring Tapu Bulu, the Hurricane is literally useless in this matchup. But I definitely needed Taunt, I needed U-Turn, and I needed Focus Blast to hit the Chansey. But even when I did the calc, I was only doing 30% with Fight Z, so it's just not worth it. And I assumed Seismic Toss was his only attack. I believe that to be true, because he went for the Seismic Toss, and I am immune to it. And this is where I get greedy. So in comes the Skarmory, and I immediately go for the Substitute, which I think was the right play. I'm going to stick by that one. Now I go for the Swords Dance. I also agree being the right play. I'm at +2. I'm a really big threat. He's actually just gonna go for a spike to get it up. He's gonna start hazard stacking me, and I don't have hazard removal this week. No, I do. I have it on Starmie, but still, if I had to take Stealth Rocks plus 3 layers of spikes, that's a lot. This was the misplay. I suspected he might have Whirlwind, and that's why he brought it in against my Mimikyu. So I should have just went for the +2 Shadow Claw into Skarmory, because now I just did nothing to him. I did no damage. Like, +2 Shadow Claw was better than the than going for +4 and getting Whirlwinded out, right? And you'll see if I did any damage to the Skarmory is down to 1 HP because he has Sturdy as his ability, and it wouldn't have happened if I did damage and broke his Sturdy. Now my Galvantula can't switch in unless I get rid of rocks and spikes on the field. So I'm essentially down 5-6 at this point because Galvantula can literally never come back in. But thankfully it switches us into the Arcanine here. I didn't think he was going to switch this out. I thought he would just drop it. If I had known he was going to switch out, or if I had predicted that, I much rather would have went for the Wild Charge, because that would have done more to this Toxapex than Flare Blitz would have. I do get the burn, which is nice. Obviously I can't poison it, so getting a burn which counteracts his Black Sludge is really good for us in this matchup, just because Toxapex is so annoying. But I go for Wild Charge, and you see how much that one does. If I did 2, he'd be down to like 30% HP as he goes to the Toxic Spikes here. So this is his plan. He's going to hazard stack me. Everything that comes in is going to get poisoned and take spikes and take rocks and all that jazz. But he'd be so much lower if I went for Wild Charge in that last turn. Now he has to switch out and get Regenerator, which really is like Regenerator is so good. You get 30% of your health back. Wild Charge doesn't do that much to Gothitelle, but I know that he reveals these leftovers. Now I'm stuck in here with Shadow Tag, but I know there's really nothing I'm too worried about because he can't hit me super effectively. So I'm just gonna Flare Blitz, which does a lot to Gothitelle. It does over 50% and brings me down into range perfectly for my Figgy Berry to activate, and brings me back up to 75%. Now he went for Taunt, which is very confusing, because what would I have had, like maybe Roar or Will-O-Wisp or Toxic or something? I'm not sure what the Taunt was for. Obviously he wasn't predicting me to switch out because of Shadow Tag, so I couldn't switch out. So again, I go, this time my Wild Charge would have knocked out from where Gothitelle was at, so I didn't even need to predict because I assumed the Toxapex was going to come back in now. So I'm just free. I'm free to keep Wild Charging these turns, and my Arcanine is just a menace. This one is just super strong, full offense, knocks out the Toxapex here, and get used to this Arcanine because he's sticking around for a while, man. Like I brought out the 4 perfect moves for this week for my Arcanine, and I'm happy that it's worked out because I've kind of went with some different sets this season on Arcanine, and this one definitely worked the best. So I went for Iron Head against the Clefable. I got the flinch. At this point, I literally am going for the flinches. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. There's nothing Clefable can do against Arcanine. Like, he can do Moonblast for a couple of damage or whatever, but I guess this is the game plan, is to like stall me out. So I'm just going to keep clicking Iron Head forever until I knock this out. And it's, you know, I know it's a part of the game where I get another flinch, which is nice. But he's just able to protect and use the leftovers to be high enough so that another Iron Head is not going to knock out. But like, it, you know, it's just frustrating when there's no game plan happening, right? Like, we're just clicking the same buttons. I'm not worried, is what I should say, in this moment. He can wish stall me all he wants, but at some point it's got to do, like, you know, I'm gonna break through here. So the Flare Blitz does not KO. It almost did. It was so close. That's why I went for Flare Blitz over Iron Head, because he was close enough where I thought Flare Blitz, the extra like 10% or whatever that Flare Blitz was gonna do was important or whatever. And I also didn't want to use up all my Iron Heads by going into his protects and stuff. But yeah, back and forth. I hope you like it. Let me just tell you right now, this is not the worst of it of what we have in this matchup. This is not this is not even close to the worst part of the back and forth. So right here, I believe that that was not a critical hit. Excuse me. I thought I got a crit there. I do end up getting a crit at some point in this matchup, but just keeps going for Wish. I know he's going to protect. There's no reason for me to switch out. Honestly, I could switch out into the Venusaur because the Sludge Bomb does, like, I think 70% or 75% to the Clefable, but it's just not worth it. It probably was smarter because then I keep my Intimidate on my Arcanine and I can Intimidate something else later that comes in, like maybe the Sableye or something. But I'm not threatened at all. Like, you see, he hasn't even attacked. Like, he hasn't even attacked me. It's just, he just keeps wish protecting. So at this point, eventually I'm gonna run out of Iron Heads, right? But then I can just go into Flare Blitz, and maybe that's the game plan, is I'm eventually gonna knock myself out because of Flare Blitz recoil. But that's gonna take a while, and you know, I'm here to stay. I'm here for it to be, you know, I want to secure this win. I want to get over 500. We're 3-3 right now. I'm willing to sit here the full 60 minutes and make it happen. But we get a crit and a flinch, which is awesome. He's gonna protect here, obviously, and I think I get another crit. I could be wrong. But obviously this Iron Head goes into the protect. But the following turn, I don't think I needed a crit. I just need the flinch. So as long as I flinch on this turn, he's low enough to get knocked out. And I get a crit, which is nice. So 2 crit flinches in this back and forth. This second crit did not matter. The first one definitely did. But like we were talking afterwards, oh yeah, the 2 crits in a row was rough. I didn't need the crit. I just needed the flinch, so you couldn't wish protect. Because he would have been at maybe like 30 to 35% without the crit, right? I think around 30 without the crit, and I would have been able to knock out. So the crit did not matter. The flinch is what mattered. But at this point, if you're just going to sit there and wish protect, you're not gaining any offensive ground that way. So eventually those numbers are going to go against your favor. But he decides to switch out, as Flare Blitz would have knocked out at that point. And here we reveal our 4th move of Close Combat. Chansey goes down. Tornadus is completely useless again, because we don't need that Fight Z on him anymore, because Chansey is over. So now I know I never need to click that Z, and we're going to use Mimikyu's Z move for this game. In comes the Sableye. And he's Mega Sableye, obviously. Like, I can't Toxic him or anything like that because of Magic Bounce. So I'm just going to stay in with Arcanine and knock myself out from Flare Blitz. If I got a crit there, that would have been nice. But I actually live on 2 HP, and he gets the KO with this. And now we're going to go into Tornadus. And this is, again, another case of Tornadus not living up to the hype. Because I go for the U-turn because online it said... On the couch, it said it would knock out. And what did he live on? 2 HP? 3 HP? Like, This is Tornadus letting me down again. I could have just went into Mimikyu and Shadow Clawed. I could have just went into Venusaur and Sludge Bombed. I'm faster. I would have knocked it out. But instead, he gets to recover, and I switched into my Venusaur, which was a mistake because I should have switched into the Mimikyu here. Giga Drain does nothing to it. Sludge Bomb does even less because it's resisted because he's a ghost type. But I'm just going to keep clicking Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb against this Sableye forever, alternating to get through his protects and things and his recovers. Mainly the Sludge Bombs are there just for the 10% chance to poison. That's literally why I'm clicking it. But all of this is avoided. So you guys see what's happening here, right? I'm gonna Sludge Bomb. He's gonna recover. He's gonna protect. His knockoff is his only attack, so he's really not doing anything. And look how high my Venusaur is on HP. So he's doing 20 damage at a time, and he gets Will-O-Wisp. And he'll do 20 damage with knockoff plus Will-O-Wisp, but I'm gonna Giga Drain and recover back everything that I lose. So you guys get what's going on here, right? I don't think we have to sit here for 20 turns and go through this. So I'm just gonna spam next turn like forever, and I think let's go to like maybe 56 or something like that. So I've never had to do this in a recording before. I know the 3DS kind of gets wonky and doesn't know how to deal with skipping ahead in videos, but we have to. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time. It was literally 25 turns back and forth of me trying to Sludge Bomb to poison, or me Giga Draining to recover from the Will-O-Wisp and knockoff damage, the minimal damage I was taking. Like, no ground was being covered. And it all happened because Tornadus did not knock out with U-turn when I thought it would. So, I'd like to say, I'd like, when I die, I would like Tornadus to be one of the people carrying my casket so it can let me down one more time. That's how bad Tornadus has been this season. It missed the knockout on Charizard against Blazing Squid. Like, it misses this knockout with U-turn. It's been frustrating. I think it was like a perfect turn that we came. I think I get knocked out this turn, or maybe it's next turn. But I ran out of Sludge Bombs, and I think I was down to like maybe 6 Giga Drains. So like that's how many turns it was to lose this. If I had I shouldn't have been so hard-headed, but like, I would have went to timer on this, like, and it wouldn't have been better because, I want to get a better differential on it than, like, I think it's like 5-4 what we're at right now, whatever it is. But I would have went to timer if I had to. Finally, Venusaur gets knocked out, and we do what we should have done twice already, which is bring in the Mimikyu. So what I had to do was just make sure that Mimikyu was able to come in and use his Z move on the Sableye. That's all I had to do. I could have, but when he was at like 10% health, I could have just Shadow Clawed because it was a neutral attack and it would have done more. And then you're gonna see the rest. Like, this game doesn't last much longer. I literally wasted maybe 15 minutes of my life just because I didn't think. And I also lost the differential, which I'm gonna win. You're gonna see we're gonna win this match 4-0. I would have won 5-0 because I never needed to bring Venusaur in if Tornadus just knocked out, because Mimikyu knocks out everything else that he has left on his team because it's all so low. They're all so low HP and I'm faster than all of them. And I have Disguise still intact. That there's literally nothing he could do. So if I just click Mimikyu 15 minutes ago, I could have been celebrating already. But he's down to 3 Pokemon. I'm down to 4. Shadow Claw into this Gothitelle. Say sayonara. Critical hit does not matter on it. And the Clefable, look how low Clefable is, right? He decides to protect, which is fine. I guess I don't know what else you got out of it because the Shadow Claw was still in range. It still did like 25 to 30%, and he is not above 25 to 30% here. So Shadow Claw is going to take down the Clefable, and all he has left is that 1 HP Skarmory, I believe. which obviously I'm able to knock out. I'm able to do 1 damage to a Skarmory with my Mimikyu. So Mimikyu coming in, sweeping, getting 4 KOs in this matchup. Well, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure, and it shows he's Rocky Helmet. So that's now 5 weeks in a row we face a Rocky Helmet. So we're going to win 4-0, but Mimikyu, I believe, is our KO leader on the season. I can actually look that up. You know, I guess this video's already been long enough, so I might as well take the extra 15 seconds, right, to to see our record. So we are 4-3 on the season with a +3 differential. Let's see. Yeah, Mimikyu has 7 KOs, Venusaur has 5, and who else? Hitmonchan has 3. Yeah. So and Arcanine is 3. So those are our leaders. So Mimikyu with that 4 KO performance puts itself in the lead on our team, and I think he's been very strong for us this season. But so we are now 4-3 with a +3 differential. Finally over the hill again after 3 losses in a row. We've had 2 wins. Hopefully we can keep this momentum on the positive side and keep moving on, because we are now over halfway through the season. That was week 7 of 12. I don't know how many wins I'm gonna need, but like, man, there's a lot of really good teams right now, that have a lot better records and differential than us. Like, I think we're 4-3, and I think we're the 8th seed right now, like if the playoffs started today. So there's a lot of teams that are like 6-1 or 5-2 or something, and it's going to be a battle to try to make playoffs, but that's the goal, obviously. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of these videos we've uploaded today. Make sure to subscribe to get notified when we have our weekly uploads. Hopefully I'll get more consistent with that now that I don't have a huge backlog of it. But for now, this is Zemanon and the New Haven Charizards signing off. We will see you next time.